type of deal.
Is it recording?
Yeah. I did like a live type of I did like a live type of deal. And I just used one of George's. Just gave me like a Sennheiser like 600 something, I think. Shotgun mic, and I used 2 of those and just like did the drummer and the guitarist or something, and I just directed them at their amps.
Yeah.
And then I did like a room mic and got like a decent live. It was not what I wanted it to sound like, but
yeah, certain shotguns are pretty amazing. Like you like if you're actually listening to what you're pointing it at, you like move it towards a bird, and then all of a sudden the bird like it sounds like it's right in front.
But
of
it
you,
was like a
it
laser point.
That's what I mean. It's like super good.
Yeah, it was weird because I felt like I just have to kept like monitoring the audio the whole time. It's almost too fucking precise.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right, and what do you want to talk about?
All right, this is Mike fucking Krzyzewski in this bitch today. What's going down, Mike? All right, so Mike, we'll just start, I guess. All right, so Mike owns a production company. It's called K-Sound LLC. It's out of Marlboro, New Jersey. He does staging, audio, lighting, trying to get into some video sometimes, and just everything related to like a concert venue if you don't know production. But me and Mike actually met through skating, so I'll just give the fun caveat because always Mike talks shit about himself, but he's actually a fucking badass motherfucker. So I wanted to talk to him today. And so I met Mike skating probably like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe during COVID or before COVID or whenever the ramp was built. When was the ramp built?
During COVID.
During COVID.
Because I don't think you were there when it was skinny, right?
No.
Ramp got an extension.
Right after, and I didn't know that it was ever skinny, but apparently I was there right after.
Yeah, the ramp was built and it was kind of small. we had it widened right when the pandemic kind of started, and that was when more people started showing up. So you came out around there. That was definitely like May or June of 2020.
All right, so I've known Mike for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so Mike owns a vert ramp out in the woods, undisclosed location.
Yeah.
And
if you know, you know, I guess. You know.
But so I'm love skating. Whatever, been skating for a long time. So funny enough, I had a couple skate. I just got surgery on my shoulder, but it's the first day without my sling. There you go, little holes. And not one of the reasons, but I got the surgery after I fucking blew my shoulder out of Mike's ramp one time. So Mike is, I don't know, I just always never knew like what to think about Mike because I didn't know him, and he just built this vert ramp, and most of the people that I knew in like within the skating world were just so fucking core and just like brutal, and Mike was just this like cool, nice dude. There's Steve. That's Steve's voice talking on the phone. We're at Mike's warehouse right now, and Mike's business is running as we are doing this podcast because another reason why Mike's a fucking savage. But so
what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about you and
no, I kind of want Steve to get out of here.
Oh, Steve's. Steve. Yeah. You're fucking this up, man. We're in here recording.
Recording what?
Some audio.
Oh, my bad.
You're good.
We're gonna have to edit you out, man.
What are you recording?
It's fine. The
Is this
podcast.
an
I don't know.
interview?
Mason,
Yeah, the interview.
Mason's doing an interview.
Oh, sorry. I gotta find these paddles, and until I do, your life is gonna be hell.
It's fine. I'll just wait. It is what it is.
Were they not in the truck?
You gotta see how much cable is in this Pelican right here that's been sitting here for months.
Were they not? Were they
They're
not in the truck?
No.
Did he say they were at the job or no?
What's that?
Were they at the job or no?
It doesn't look like it, no. Yeah.
Good luck. They're out there somewhere.
Damn.
Speaking of the company, right? Sometimes if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. Steve's been looking for these things all day, but somehow I know that if I go out there, it's gonna take me like 5 minutes, and I'm just gonna spot them. I don't know. I almost want to test it.
This is why I feel like Mike's the shit, like in owning a business, because not a lot of people are willing to let people just fuck it up. Mike's kind of willing to just let people try and fail, like within his space, which is why he's just a savage.
Yeah, because that's the only way to learn, man. Like, I definitely am all for pushing the bird out of the nest, and that's because that's how I learned. Like, I just started buying this stuff, right? I read the manual. No one taught me nothing, and every job wasn't perfect. There was something wrong, and it was like, why does it sound like this? How do I fix this? How do I make it sound better? You start meeting people much better at it than you, and you pick their brain and you start trying it, and it's like the experience is much different than someone just saying do this and not ever fucking it up. Like, you gotta fuck up, and then like, don't do that. You know what I mean? So is this kind of stuff you're hoping to get?
Yeah.
All right, good.
That's the fucking clip. That's it right there. That's perfect. 100%.
Yeah. So
Because no, seriously, and like when I wanted to get like trying shit, like I already do video, but you're like, what else do you want to do? And like immediately, I can turn the camera and there's 2 speakers set up right there for Mike set up an audio board for me to go learn audio on for a couple of days. And said, a couple of speakers like right there, like just go try and learn audio. And how much is that fucking M32 audio board? How much money is that?
the one that I had you on that day, that thing's like a $1,700-ish.
Yeah, $1,700, whatever, to like, a couple $1,000 piece of equipment that I can just dick around on, plus the speakers, you're up to like $2,500 for everything I need to fucking use.
Yeah.
To learn and whatever, just set it up and let people fucking learn.
And that's a big thing too, because like when I first got into it, like I said, I had to buy some shit and just figure it out, and it was like that was the only way I would get access to it.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, you could go to Guitar Center and sit there and mess around a board. You're not gonna learn there. You know what I mean?
No, because you're not gonna spend enough time.
Yeah,
you can't be
like,
freaking a Guitar Center.
So
they're gonna kick you out.
I played in the band, so luckily I had my band as the guinea pig.
Yeah.
But I bought the stuff, started putting microphones on stuff. We played our own shows, and I brought the PA to save money. And like clearly the only way to learn is to get your hands on it, and like I said, to mess up. So same thing. Everybody that works for me, I let them have access to any of the stuff here, because like I want them to come in and play with it. Like same thing. Like how some people have more initiative than others. Like some people will come here and like you put them in front of it and they're a little bit like the deer in headlights. But I kind of try to find the people that like they want to do it. Like, all right, like I want to figure out how to make this thing sound good. And I'll have tracks from like recorded shows, like, not bootlegs, but like, we'll record some of the bands and I get to keep the tracks, and I'll be able to throw some pretty good artists on, I don't know if I should even drop the names, but
no, drop, because honestly, it helps, because what you're talking about, like most people don't think that they can get like this type of shit from working for a motherfucker like you.
So the random thing is like we did Bette Midler, right?
Bette Midler.
Is like, you would never think to yourself, I want to mix Bette Midler. But you would also probably never ever get yourself in the situation where you get to mix Bette Midler and her band.
Yeah.
Which her backing band, I think, for this one particular show was Bruno Mars.
It's going to be some of the best in the world. And we already talked about Bruno Mars' band and how fucking...
Yeah,
how good you talked about that.
How good you got to be on tour with Bruno Mars. You're like one of the best players in the world if you're on something like that. And then for like me and my guys and the people that work for me, what it takes to get to that gig, I can fast track that a little bit for you because I got the tracks, and you can like cut your teeth on like mixing Bette Midler with Bruno Mars's band, something that's a situation that's like really not possible to get into.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you're only going to be doing it here at the shop, or you could even take the tracks home and mess with it at home, but it doesn't matter, because the same things like, here's what it sounds like before I mess with it. It sounds terrible. I need to fix this, fix that, make the high better, make the low.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take all that stuff into the field. If I send somebody out to go mix a band at a park or something, maybe you're only doing like, why can't I think of something like a cover band that's like the Eagles or something, right? Yeah. An Eagles cover band, but it doesn't matter. The same type of stuff you were doing mixing the tracks here is what you're going to now be trying to do at a live thing. You're going to learn other things, like how come when I was in the office trying to mix this, it was so easy to do this, but out here it's not. Well, because now you're learning about the acoustics like on a PA and how it's totally different than being in a little room with tiny little speakers. You just learn and getting better. I don't think that's the kind of stuff that you can get taught. Like you just have to dive into it.
I literally, it's crazy. Like you can't get taught it, because I don't think even from like what I'm doing, videography, photography standpoint, like at your gigs mostly, just from being put. So it's funny because we'll talk about Bette Midler, but just for namesake, like who are some of the like you've mixed Post Malone, you've mixed who else?
Yeah.
Like,
so
let's drop some names real quick of who K-Sound has mixed.
the bands that I've
Who are some of your favorites?
all right, so there's a big difference between who I've mixed and
who you've set stages
provided for.
Yeah.
Meaning I brought the PA, I brought the desks, and I've assisted. Things that I've personally got to mix that I could think that matter. I've got to mix Max Weinberg's band with Little Steven. I got to mix this band Little Feat once. I've mixed Taking Back Sunday. I mean, bands that were 2000s-ish emo punk bands. I got to mix a lot of that
Did you
stuff.
let Carrie do Post Malone?
I let Carrie mix monitors for DMX. Oh man, I can't think of some of these bands that we've mixed for, but there really are a lot.
There's so many. Come on, dude.
Drawing a blank, dude. Idina Menzel.
Whatever.
I got the mix for Idina Menzel right before Frozen.
Yeah.
With an orchestra, and it's just,
really?
Yeah, that's a random one.
That's funny.
You
Right
know,
before Frozen. That's
And
super
some of the bigger names that I've got to do. We got to mix Bon Jovi at a private event in the Hamptons. Random.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See, so it's like just experience-based work. You're getting to mix some of the top people in the world just by working for a person like Mike and.
We got to mix Vanilla Ice.
Oh shit! I remember you telling me.
I don't know. Dude,
Yeah.
It's just like I'm saying. If I start spouting off names where we've provided all the gear, because most of the artists have their own.
Yeah.
They have their own guy who
Yeah.
is familiar with the song and knows on this song I got to turn the snare up and this down and he's going to do this and that part. So they always have their own guy, but not always. Right now I'm bidding on a thing for Ice Cube, which I would love to mix because I love Ice Cube.
I know you're saying that.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm getting that. But if I did, it says that we're mixing, and I was like, dude, that's going to be me.
Ice Cube, that would be
yeah,
so
I'm going to make sure
there.
I'm on that one because I would like to do that.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, but even still, if you've mixed a band in a park, and this is the thing, if you've mixed a band in a park and it's a no-name band, it's your friend's band, anything, it's going to be the same thing when you work with a better artist. And the reason the artists want somebody that's good, you just have to be half decent at this. But then they want a guy that is going to know the songs, know what they want, that they're comfortable with. Yeah. And then if you could do a band in the middle of nowhere, you could do some big band. That's the thing, man. There's no big secret to it. There's no mystery. If you go to a concert and you're in a stadium and you see front of house in that little microcosm of an area where you know it's happening. Yeah. You know that the whole show's happening right there.
I know.
Those guys aren't doing anything that I or half the guys that work for me couldn't do. He just somehow wiggled his way into that position and got that gig, and he's mixing, Metallica or whoever the hell it is.
Yeah.
So.
I know. Even I went to Cobra Man the other night. Cobra Man, great show.
Yeah.
Fucking in Philly, and I was, every time I'm out at a venue, you're like, does it ruin it for you? I'm like, no, it almost makes it better because I'm looking behind the desk. Like, one, I almost recognize the desk. Two, I kind of recognize some gear now, and I'm like, three, I'm like, I wonder if it's their guy or the whatever. But I noticed that during the opening shows, it was just like random lights, just like, Steve or Robbie or whatever will do for the opening show. And then it was clearly Resolume programmed for
something way better.
Yeah. It was clearly programmed light show. And it made me think like, oh, the guy I saw before was a different guy now, and just like making those connections. Yeah. And shit. It's funny, but it's just another fucking dude.
Nowadays, lights in particular are you really got to have a guy who really knows the songs because yeah,
you do. Because honestly, going to concerts, I am not even for production. Before I just started fucking taking psychedelics and shit and going to concerts and really loving the whole performance. Lights, huge thing. Yeah. If you're not killing it with lasers and lights, it's like, come on, you ruined the fucking show. You gotta be on that.
Yeah, and again, a lighting guy is gonna he's gonna study those songs, and then he's gonna have the palette in his mind of what he kind of knows he can do with the lighting rig. And then when he's listening to the song, he's going to get an idea. I can do this in that part. I'm going to do this in that part. And then they go back and they can program it. Yeah. Nowadays you can program a show on a computer and then just bring that to the show as long as everything gets set up the way you virtually did it.
I think that's what most people are doing.
It is,
now.
Yeah. And then
Resolume is what I see from most of these guys that are bringing their laptops.
So we're talking lighting. See, I think of Resolume as a video thing. I don't even know if Resolume does lighting.
Really? Oh wait, am I thinking Resolume is video? And what's the fucking program for lighting that I'm?
Everyone uses a Grand MA console and whatever. See, Steve, I think you can link Resolume and there's time code and stuff where the video and the lighting really gets
because I've used it only. Sorry, the only reason I'm linking it in my head is I did a shoot with my friend in Brooklyn and we did live visuals, and then he used Resolume just to time everything for the
Yeah,
show
there's some-
that I was filming.
See, I know more about the audio nitty gritty, the
It was
lighting.
a very like
Yeah, see the lighting and video, like I know about, like I just know like Resolume is a video thing. Does Resolume do
no, you're
lighting?
right. I'm
not
just
sure.
fried. Like we were just
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it does. Like, don't let me steer you off the track. You could be right. Maybe he was doing it all Resolume.
Probably
That's
not.
Steve question.
probably not right.
Let me ask Steve.
Let's get Steve in here.
Let's get the answer. Steve, can you control a light show with Resolume?
You can't control a light show, but you can trigger Resolute from an MA.
You can trigger the video from the lighting.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, that's what I thought. See, so that's what we were doing. We were just using like basic lighting triggers with the video time.
Yeah, the lighting stuff. I know everyone wants a grand MA.
All right, so if we didn't hear that, hold on. Steve said, no, you can't control lighting from Resolume, but yes, you can
other way.
trigger it through time. With
No, he said the other way. You can trigger the video stuff from the lighting board. So like the lighting board.
Oh, sorry, okay.
The lighting board would send time code to Resolume, and then Resolume would know when it gets this signal. Okay, fire off this thing.
Oh.
You know, to the video stuff.
Oh, that's honestly even kind of cooler.
Yeah. Well, here's a case in point, dude. Right? We're talking about this.
Yeah.
This would be the remedy for this. Resolume is a program that like you got to spend money on to buy.
Yeah.
I would buy Resolume. I mean, I don't have it because I use other programs, but I would buy Resolume.
Yeah.
And if you really want to learn that, I'm gonna set it up. Like, it's simple as that. And like, you don't even need a video wall. Like, you just need a flat screen TV.
No, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
But I
you can
had
start,
the what was the other program that you used?
that one was something called Archaeos Media.
Yeah,
Master.
Archaeos Pro.
Yeah, and I use that stuff. But I know Resolume's a shit. Everybody wants Resolume.
Yeah, obviously, because it's node based and all that.
Most of the dudes that are using that, they bring their own laptop. They got all their content,
Yeah.
and then they just plug in and go. That's why I haven't bought it.
Yeah, yeah. Because when you look at the whole layout, like when you're looking at as an open forum, if you were gonna do a show, it makes so much more fucking sense.
Yeah.
It makes so much more sense to look at a show as a 3D model instead of just like memorizing when I'm gonna do what where,
Yeah.
like and having that dialed in. But like just
So Cobra Man, what did they have audio wise?
I don't know.
Like I'm saying, was it just like a DJ and then a guy singing? Like what was the?
Oh, what was the band?
Yeah, it's a band. Like
Oh
an
yeah,
actual
they
band.
had like 7 guys on
That's
stage.
cool.
So all the instruments that you hear on the album, it's played live. So live vocals, the
So that'd be a good
keyboard
gig
is
to have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be
It
if
wouldn't
you
just
were
be like-
trying to like mix audio, that would be the ultimate gig because it's 3 layers of keyboards, all with different sounds. You have a saxophone with pedals, you have a fucking guitar with pedals, you have a drummer, you have a bass player, and you have a rhythm and like probably
That would be a great
someone.
gig.
Oh yeah, it was.
Together like that.
I thought that it was just the 2 of them,
Oh.
and when the fucking sax came and I saw that it was like 6 people on stage, oh man, that was the shit.
See, I would like to get a show like that where we actually mix, but it's just like it's so few and far between. You know, 'cause they
where
always
it
have their
comes
own
legit.
guy. I don't know, man. I feel like nowadays it's like a friends thing. Like if you're lucky, you came up with the person that makes it, and then
Yeah.
you just get tagged along. You know.
Yeah.
The closest thing I came to that was this band Streetlight Manifesto, who they're a pretty known ska band, right? They were
Yes, I
called
know.
Cat. What's that?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you know who they are?
Of course.
So they used to be a band called Catch 22, and then it became Streetlight Manifesto. But the band that I was in high school, we were playing with them.
Oh really?
I was friendly with the singer. The
No
singer,
fucking way.
yeah, the singer is that band.
Wait, what was your band called?
We were called Groundswell.
I remember
So-
that because the dude Charlie told me that.
Yeah. So then we, what do you call it? Like as he got bigger, and I wasn't playing in a band, and I started doing sound. Like it was like I very easily could have just been on tour with them, mixing them, and that. I mean, that could have been like my life, but I'm glad I didn't do that because
Yeah.
it's a lot more money in owning the gear and renting out equipment. But again, that's the closest I came to like my lucky shot to get on with a band that actually is like pretty well known and has a following, and you get to mix a real band too. It's not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like a DJ and a microphone.
Yeah, some tracks.
Because there's a lot of that these days. There's nothing but like, you saw it like shows we were
It's
on.
weird.
Here's a turn. Here's some
I was
guy
expecting so much more.
and I get so much more, but
I
just
know you-
these days it's not. It's few and far between. The colleges are booking.
But I mean, more. You probably did more audio work on that Rutgers Yule Logs thing that you do on most
Oh,
of
yeah.
these. Most of these,
yeah,
because you had to do a choir and a piano and a couple instruments and whatever, and like
and for a recording, which just makes it even more nerve wracking because they didn't want to pay for
Switching.
like a real legit like production. It was just kind of like we just want some cameras.
Wanted
and
it
like,
recorded.
So it was a little bit like kind of get one shot at this.
Gotta have it done live.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there with the headphones on and I'm trying to make sure that I have a decent mix.
Yeah.
It was only a couple microphones, but if you're talking about choirs and there's actually a piano player that was mic'd up.
Yeah.
You can't have the piano too high. It's like it'll ruin everything. And like I had one shot at that. So yeah, that actually
That was real.
was a job that had legit audio
That's so funny.
work, you know.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, then we'll go to Johns Hopkins University where there was like 3,000 people in the room and it was a decent turnout.
And we don't have to get into dollar value, but how many times value was that John Hopkins in money than the Rutgers?
10. Times 10.
10 times at least, right?
Yeah, times 10 the money.
10, 15.
But also 10 times, probably 100 times the production, you know?
Yeah. 100 times the fucking pain in our ass over 3 days.
Yeah, with the nightmare load in.
Yeah.
Because of the truck in the rain.
Fun rain.
And the truck in the rain.
Big semi in the rain. Big tight alley.
I got to tell you,
That was fun.
I tell people all the time, like getting into production and sound, lights, video, and all this stuff, at the end of the day, you kind of just turn into a glorified furniture mover.
Yeah, you do.
And, you know, the fun part, by the time you even get to the fun part, you're kind of over it.
Dude, that's why I have
especially at Johns Hopkins, because we were getting rained on.
I
It was a long push.
It's like the camera is the only thing that keeps me excited. I swear I just got to
Yeah.
keep on the camera. Because it's like when showtime comes, I want to kill someone.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like I got my camera in my hand. At least I got something to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't always hate it. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I
it's
still
fun.
get a job that I really like, but you know, sometimes it helps when it's a band that I actually would enjoy. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, I know that I always put on this band called Small Pools, right? That I did at Rutgers. This isn't like somebody that I love and like I'm listening to it all the time, but like I didn't think they sucked. Thought they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it? We gotta fix something.
I don't know. What the heck, man? The card didn't want to cooperate, man. Whatever, the video's just for promo shit anyway. That was fun.
All right, so
What just happened there? We just took like a 45-minute break to find some antenna paddles.
it's all experience. Next time you throw, next time you throw.
Would have done if we didn't find those paddles, those antenna paddles.
Literally bought 2 more. So there, we were just looking for
All right, that does it.
shore paddles.
It never ends.
Right, shore paddles that are, I don't know, they're a couple $100, a few $100, and we couldn't find them. They, of course, we got lucky and found them buried in a case, but B&H Photo in New York City, it's my favorite spot as long as it's not Saturday.
They'll have them.
Dude, how much money does that place lose because they're not open on Saturday?
I
Do you know about that?
No, they're not open on Saturday.
Because it's the Sabbath. It's like they're in
No
the city.
way. Oh yeah, because that's crazy. Because the B&H commercials,
Mhm.
you ever seen them?
No.
They show like who's like the founder of B&H. It's like it's just like, you know, an old
So
Jewish dude.
guy,
Yeah, an old
yeah,
Jewish
so
dude.
like because
That's funny.
they're very strict about the Hasidic
no way.
stuff. So Saturday, B&H is closed. The ultimate day in production. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the ultimate day that
And in New
everybody,
York.
yeah,
And then the only store that they have is in New York.
that everybody in New York, that's
So
which is like the
funny.
heart of like production.
Yeah.
And everybody in New York needs something that's probably sitting at B&H.
Every
and-
single person every Saturday needs something from B&H, and they don't
And
give
can't
a
go there.
single fuck.
So that's good. I mean, good for them, man. That's like powerful.
That's what
man.
I'm saying.
You know?
Morals over money, baby.
But I don't know, man. Like it'd be nicer if they were closed on Monday. You know? Like,
Yeah, just fast Sunday, Monday.
but so yeah. So as long as you're good, man, B&H got what you need,
That's
and
fine.
if not, I hope you got production company owners' numbers on your cell phone. I do. Certainly, there's a lot of numbers in my phone that if it's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm in some kind of a mega pinch, these are like only call in emergency type numbers. you know. And my number is one of them. I think I've given people my number before.
Yeah.
Where like, listen, I've been woken up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I got you, and I'll roll out of bed and take care of someone, because if I'm in that position, which is going to happen eventually.
Yeah. Who called you?
Knock on wood, you know. I don't know, like guys I'm friends with, Thomas, Dane, whoever, you know. I've had some like, we need this like right now type phone calls, and I'm just like, I'll do it. DJ Mixer, things like that. Like, we're on this job, this guy won't perform unless we give him an S9 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got it. How much time do I have? They're like, he's supposed to go on in like 30 minutes, and I'm like, I'll try and get there as quick as I can. 45 minutes later, and the guy had to wait 15 minutes, and things like that have definitely happened.
That's why I feel like that's another reason why I think like owning a business is like the only way. Is because when you get into that like life pattern of like, you have a warehouse, you have connections, you have people's phone numbers, people have your phone number, it like turns into more of like an organic life situation of like, people need stuff, they call you, you need stuff, you call them. Where it's not like, oh, I need time off, I request it 3 weeks in advance to go to blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I just fucking call Mike in the middle of the night if I need to get hooked up. It's like, I know he's got a warehouse and he's a fucking stand-up dude and he'll hook me up with the DJ thing because, like, I'm the guy and he's the guy.
You start
and,
to
like,
deal in favors a
You
little
both
bit.
own shit. But it's like, would you do that for someone that didn't own a fucking company? Like, even me. Like, even if I called you in the middle of the night, you're like, no, I'm with my fucking kids. It's like, but it's like,
it depends on the bind you're in. You know what I mean?
I know what I mean, but if like you didn't know I was on a job, and if it wasn't your job, or if it wasn't anything associated that you knew, it would be like, you know, night with your kids and you're at dinner. It's like, no, but some other people that own fucking companies, I feel like that's a reason to own a company in itself, is to have that respect of the phone call picking up value.
I've definitely had I've had moments myself where you're the one and you're in the oh shit moment and you need somebody to help you, or there's no way out of this.
Well, yes.
So whenever I get that phone call, I know that scenario.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even if it's some name I've never heard before, and they're like, I got your number from blah, 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 and they said you might be able to help.
Honestly,
if I can help, I'll help.
Honestly, you're fucking 100% right now that I'm backtracking, because I called you when I was in New York with Dolphin. And we couldn't figure out the TriCaster.
Oh, yeah, the TriCaster.
And, like, Mike literally just put on his fucking glasses and said, do you have FaceTime? Just show me the system and show me where you have shit plugged in, and let's figure this shit out, and I hope you boys are okay.
TeamViewer.
And, like, that was...
TeamViewer would have been the next step.
It was, like, 30 seconds. What do you got going on? All right, let me see if I can help. But, I don't know. That's just, like, that fucking... It's just that better life.
Yeah. I guess I think it depends on the kind of person you are. Like, when I worked as an electrician, I hated.
Yeah, so you started all this as a union electrician, and you started when.
I started all this as a guy in a band, trying to figure out a way to hustle better gigs.
So then why did you become a union? Tell me the union electrician thing.
Here, I'll tell you how it started.
The union hall.
I think the story's how it started is maybe interesting. When I first was playing in a band. I shouldn't say first. I was playing in a band and I was bitter. We just sucked. Like, our band just wasn't that good. I realize that now. But at the time, I was like, we're not getting on the good shows because I'm just not doing a good enough job of politicking. Like, it's all politics. And like, how come my band's not opening up for this band? And how come I can't get booked at this club? And like, how come no one's booking us? And I was like, dude, it's all because I'm not out there kissing the right ass and all this stuff, right? Yeah. So my solution at the time was, all right, why don't I just like book the shows myself? Fuck these promoters, right? Like, I hated, like, recurring theme today, we were talking earlier. I hated being at somebody's mercy, and I felt like I was at the mercy of the promoters, and you'd call them and you'd make this like press packet thing. I can't remember what it was called now, but like, you had your thing with your band's photo and your demo and your this and your that, and like I couldn't get anybody's attention. Yeah. So like, I was like. And what was I looking for? I was trying to piggyback off of a bigger band's thing. So I was like, why can't my band be opening up for Saves the Day, whoever it was? Yeah. And at the time, legit bands playing in like VFW halls were like happening. Like, those were the fucking good shows to go to, you know, not the clubs. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to be one of these guys. I was working as an electrician, so I had income, you know.
So you were still in the band when you were working as an electrician?
I'm talking like year one. Like, I just started working as an electrician.
Okay.
So now I get a steady paycheck coming to me. I still have dreams. I still have hopes and dreams that my band can make it. And then and we had a practice PA, which was nothing special, just a couple floor monitors and a little mixer, you know. And my whole idea was that I'm gonna just use the money that I'm making as an electrician and book the bands that I want to open for, and I'm just gonna make my band be the one that goes right on up before that. Like that was literally the way I did it. So I was renting this this place near Starlane Ballroom called Step In Ballroom, right? And Step In Ballroom, I think I booked this band called The Strider. I booked this band called Further Seems Forever, which is Chris Carrabba and Dashboard Confessional. Have you ever heard of them?
Mm-hmm.
At the time, he was a big deal.
Okay.
He's still kind of known, but anyway, Dashboard Confessional. That's the name of it. That guy was in this band called Further Seems Forever before Dashboard Confessional. And like, anyway, so I booked those bands, and I put my band on right before them, and it was working out pretty well, except that I was paying so much money for the guy with the PA.
Yeah.
Which at the time I was paying the guy $400, and that's nothing now. Like that's like a guy costs more than that, just a guy. But at the time I was like, oh my God, it's $400, man. At the end of the show, I had like $10 left over, and I was like, fuck. Like I broke even. Every time I did this, I broke even. I didn't make any money. It wasn't about making money, but it was like, I remember having a pile of cash in my hand at the end of the show, and then paying the headliner, paying this one, paying that one, paying the sound guy, and being like $5. You know? So anyway, I had the big idea after doing.
Let's go to Wawa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if that. So then I had the big idea. I was like, you know what, dude, my band's practice PA is not that bad. If I just buy a couple more things, somebody told me you got to have subwoofers. If you have subwoofers, you'll have something. I was like, if you just buy a couple more things, I can get rid of the sound guy and I can just do the sound myself.
Yeah.
That's literally the beginning of it. That is how it started. I have a picture of me at that show looking ridiculous. But I bought a 16-channel mixer, and then I bought 2 terrible garbage subwoofers. They were called EV4 subs, and it was like they fired like this way. Yeah. It was really weird. And I did this show, and it sounded god awful. Like I did not know what the hell I was doing. You know, to circle back to the thing before, it's like, yeah, this is the experience that I try to give people because I realized like that was the beginning. And how did it start? Because I'm fucking blowing it. Yeah. Like it sounded terrible. And I was like, damn, it sounded so much better when the other guy was here. So then I'm like, well, what did he have? Like he was bringing this and that. And I'm like, all right, so is that all I need to do? I need to get some more of this and buy a couple more things. So then every time I got a check as an electrician, buy another microphone, get another subwoofer. These, thank God for eBay, by the way. These subwoofers suck. I'm putting these on eBay. And eBay at the time didn't take quite as big of a bite.
Thank God for eBay.
Yeah, but back then it was like, I think you only lost 7%. Like I remember between PayPal and eBay.
Really?
Yeah, whenever I would do the math.
It was that much? What do you lose now?
15%, if not 20.
Fuck?
Yeah, it's a big bite now.
Damn, e-commerce is legit.
Yeah, but back then it was like 7%. It was nothing. So I remember I was like, well, used gear is what it costs used. So if I buy something used and I don't like it and I want to flip it a week later, I should be able to flip it for the same price that I bought it for.
Yeah.
So I started making all these moves on the gear. Let me try these subwoofers. Let me try that. Let me try this stuff. The experience that I gained from going through so much different gear.
I feel like I should be cycling through gear with my cameras and shit. Like I should be fucking upgrading from the first body that I had, my camera body.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I can sell that with like a lens and then get the 1-up body.
Yeah.
That for the next, menu or whatever that I want to learn. But I've heard, I know, I feel like I'm kind of bloated on that, but I don't know.
It's all about try not to lose. Like I lose so much money now.
I'm so bad at trading up, like historically, and like anything that I've like online video game assets or cars or anything that I've ever tried to trade up, I fucking just lose money.
Well, that's the beauty part of like production gear.
Yeah.
Because like production gear is different. Like,
value.
And also there's ways around eBay. My favorite trick. Because again, dude, if I got a board that's like a $50,000 mixing console on eBay, I'm not trying to give eBay that 7%.
Like no way.
Yeah, so like
15.
The trick is I put a picture of my business card in the listing, and the guy
just put your number in the description,
and I put the price higher than what I'm really going to sell it for because I don't want somebody to hit buy it now. Like if I'm trying to sell something on eBay and say $15,000 is the right price for it, if I go listed it for $15,000 after all said and done, I'm really going to have like $894. You know what I mean? It's like, damn. You know, I lost all that. But
Really?
if I listed I listed the thing for 18,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my business card in there, and then some guy knows he wants to pay 15, and I already knew I wanted 15, and I get that random text or something, hey, I saw your number, the item on eBay.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about the 15K that it should be,
Yeah.
and I don't have to give eBay and PayPal all this money.
Huh.
You know?
Both feel like you're winning.
Yeah, so, but to rewind back in the day, I didn't care if they used buy it now or whatever, because like the little 7% wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like I rented the thing. You know, but I got to rent it for a couple months and then return it and only pay a little bit. So that's how I cycle through everything and working as an electrician. Buy a couple more microphones, another drum kit. Just sold this on eBay. Now I can get that. Then I work another couple months and they got a little bit more money and I just sold this console on eBay. Now I'm gonna try that console.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely it just, you know, turned into that warehouse out there. Like, and, you know, there was no like magic moment. It was just like this shit just literally piled up.
Yeah, that's like the fucking thing is that there's not a magic moment. Is that what's crazy about all the gear that I've acquired just over the last year is that like I started with one camera body.
Yeah.
How the fuck? Well, I just went into debt. That's how. But but also like it's like I know how to use it all. Like and I've used all of it to make money, and I've like I'm slowly chipping away at that, and like it's working.
Yeah,
but it is weird that I have all this shit and I know how to use it, and it's like I only bought it because I knew how to use it.
There might have been one moment. I do have a moment where it was like the first time I spent a significant amount of money in one shot, and I remember the number was $40,000.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and I remember at the time like I couldn't get a loan. Like, dude, no banks want to give you a loan unless you have a house to give them if you don't pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I know. You need collect. Yeah.
So I remember at the time like the way I had the money is I had 20,000, and then I needed the other 20. And it was like, I just started signing up for any credit card like offer, and I got a terrible Capital One card.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, there's another $5,000 right there.
Yeah.
I had a Jeep Cherokee that I had paid off in full, and I was able to like refinance it or whatever and take another loan on my Jeep. Like I just figured out.
Shit.
Yeah, I just figured out a way to get there.
How else did you get money? Besides, you remember anything else that you
back then? My girlfriend, who is now my wife, definitely would lend me like $1,000 here and there.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, I think my parents let me put $5,000 on their credit card and I paid it off.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of beg, borrowing, and stealing. You know, well, like again, it was like.
How much were you in debt at the peak of that time when you started your business? Like peak fucking investment for return was low, but you knew it was gonna go.
Man, I don't have an answer to that. Like the $40,000 one that I'm talking about right now is the only one that I really remember. Here, all right, here. I think this is the way I'll answer that.
Yeah.
The $40,000 thing, when I made a big jump, was definitely a.
Was that on credit or did you pay that?
It was like
you had that money.
Yeah, like so what it was is like line array speakers were becoming a thing. You know what line array is? It's a bunch of boxes.
Yeah.
And before that, you only needed a few boxes. Now you need like 12 aside. And there's so much money. Like it was like audio was changing right at that moment. Line arrays were the thing, and if you didn't have it, you were about to fall off. So me and this other guy who I was partners with, but not really. We both were just like talking. It was like it turned into like a, I'll do it if you do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And for me to do it, I needed $40,000, which to me was like, holy shit! Like, dude, when I was working as an electrician, I made $45,000 a year. You know, I was an apprentice. I wasn't making top dollar.
Half of that's fucking cost of living. The other half's bullshit.
Yeah.
And fucking what do you got to save?
And I'm like, I'm gonna have to work for the rest of my life. It felt like at the time I'm gonna have to work for the rest of my life to pay this off. And like, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is fucking so stupid.
Yeah.
Like I'm crazy. I can't believe this. And I was just like, whatever, man. I'm in. I'm doing it. Like I had a deal ready to go. Somebody like had some of the boxes. He was willing to sell them to me for a good price. Like I had the deal in place, and it was like I came up with the money and I did it. And it was one of those things like you're almost like in a brain fog. Like in the process of doing it, like for the moment, like where you're like, the money's gone. I just gave them the money. And I was just in this like, what have I done? Like, how am I going to pay this off? Right? And all I know is somehow I paid that off very quickly. I remember I got the boxes. I started hustling any job I could get with them. I said yes to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And just all of a sudden it was like I'm out of debt. Like I paid it all back. Everyone got their money
How
back.
far were you? You were 40 in debt?
I was 40 in debt, and I'm pretty sure I had that
How
knocked
long
out in
did
a
it
year.
take you? In a year?
I think it was maybe even less than a year.
All right, I'm not in a bad spot then.
Yeah. So, but what that taught me was like now I wasn't afraid to spend 40 grand anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know, and it's like every time I drop 1,000, then 2,000 seems like within my price range.
Yeah.
Like I've tried like that new setup or whatever. Now I'm looking at like the next up, and it's like, you know, that seems like it's the next
Yeah.
thing, which when I first started was fucked.
And also back to that whole thing about like buying and selling it and stuff. I got a good enough deal on the $40,000 gear
Yeah.
that like also in the back of my mind, I'm like, if worse comes to worse and this fails, I can maybe sell it for 32,000, maybe even 35, hell, maybe even 40 and get my money right back. Because sometimes that would happen.
I know that's.
And I'm like, I should be all right, but I was all right. I didn't have to sell it. I had to buy more of it. I mean, after the 40K, not long after that, I had to buy another box, another box, another box, another box.
Yeah.
You know, so like this thing still was happening too at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, and then like I said, like after that, I can't even remember. I mean, I've spent way more money than that. You know, 70 is the next time that I spent something big. I remember it was 70,000. It was when I sold that system to get a bigger step up.
What was the job that put you to the level where you could start buying Digico and you could start buying like the fucked up subwoofers and like really the big shit? What was like what did you get that was like, all right, I'm in. I'm done. Like it's
Wow. Okay. So here's the thing. When you're in it, you know how they say, what did they say, dude? Like, I can't think of the term I want to say. It's like like when opportunity knocks kind of thing or whatever. Like luck. Luck is a big deal, dude. But here's the thing about luck. Like there's luck at play, but you also gotta like make yourself available for luck to happen to you, right?
Yeah.
The moment that just came to mind with that was Starland Ballroom got flooded during Hurricane Sandy.
And so you did that install?
And I got the install.
Okay.
But the thing was, like you said, like, all right, like when I made a purchase or whatever, then I was like, all right, I'm here.
Yeah.
Right? At that point, I was cobbling together some of my gear. And I had what was called the JBL Vertec line array at the time. And that was the thing to have. It was a big deal. It was like, if you have this, you're kind of there. But like, there's this thing of like, you get to this level and it feels like the next rung of the ladder is so much further away, right? Like, I mean, even right now I'm in a moment of that where it's like, man, the next rung feels so far.
We were just talking about mountain and all that shit.
Just talking about like barcoding my gear. That's like a rung. That's like a big rung for me to do and like to try to run the warehouse like a big company.
Yeah.
I forget about it. Let's go back to this thing.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a rig that matched, meaning like, I got some JBL Vertec, but I have some like homemade subwoofers that I'm using. The subs sound good. It's like a certain level of job will be like, you don't have matching subs, like you don't have the whole thing, you know, and then you got to like, please give me the gig. Please give me the gig. Please tell me he doesn't care that much about the subs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to fucking stretch a little bit.
Yeah, and at that point, for me to sell all of my subs and buy the matching Vertex subs was like, I can't do it. Like, it's just too much. Like, so fast forward, Starlane gets flooded.
Yeah.
Starlane has Vertex subs.
Okay.
They got 8 of them, which was at the time the exact number that I needed.
Yeah.
Right? And I couldn't afford them. When Starlane got flooded, they put all their subs up on the stage. They tried to get their stuff out. Nobody knew Hurricane Sandy was going to flood like it did. Like Starlane was in one of the worst hit areas, man. Like believe it or not, Saraville, New Jersey.
It was Irene the year before.
Yeah, Irene.
That was the hoax.
Yeah.
And then fucking Sandy, no one believed it.
Yeah, dude. And Starlane got flooded in Saraville, New Jersey. And if you look on like any of those maps, Saraville was one of like the worst hit because the Raritan River comes right through and the river came right up. So anyway, Starlane got flooded. A year later, I got lucky. Like this was a big moment for me when I won the install to sell them a new rig. So this is where the luck is. At the end of the install, they offered me to buy everything in the club for nothing. Like I'm talking like a deal. They were like, look, dude, we just want to get it the hell out of here. What will you give us for it? And I was like, I don't know. And they're like, can you do X amount of dollars? It might have been like $2,000 or
Yeah.
something. So it was something ridiculous,
Yeah,
right?
like low.
Where it was like, I just paid for all of
You're
this.
just like, fuck.
Less-
Of course I can.
Yeah, less than what like one of those subs cost to buy new.
Yeah. And now you're in.
How damaged was the shit?
Yeah.
The subs, half of the sub had the floodline in it. The other half was good. So half of the subs,
Worked?
yeah, like, so I had,
So you had 8 subs, but
So I had to
technically you had
repla-
4 subs?
yeah, I only had to replace the bottom speaker in the boxes, but the boxes were fine. The hardware was fine. It all survived. It was definitely wet, but it was safe. It was usable. I went and got the speakers reconed for a few $100s, and it was like, I got a Vertec rig now. It's complete. And I remember that move turned into a lot more work. It was like, okay, dude, like like you said, when it was like, all right, I'm fucking in it now.
Yeah. Now you have like the
Now the
set
next
to
move is-
show off.
Now the next move is desks.
Yeah.
So like that was the position I was in, where I was like, now let's start talking about consoles.
Okay.
You know, and at the time, Digico consoles weren't really it. It was Avid consoles, and I somehow around that time got Avid consoles.
At that time, did you have kids? And did
No.
you have a wife? You had wife or no?
I was with my wife, but I wasn't married. I got married I was married. Yeah,
Okay.
I got married in 2009, and that was 2012. So I was
Okay.
married. No kids yet. Kids came 2 years later.
That's crazy. Your kids are born in 2014?
2014. Yeah,
What?
my daughter's almost 9. I know, dude, it's going quick. Yeah, just I think it's a big thing to like not be afraid of money.
I
You
think
know?
so. And that's exactly where I'm going to circle back to, we'll make this the tail end of it. And so when I met Mike at his ramp and I blew my fucking shoulder out, the reason I had this surgery, the whole fucking shebang. So we're in the hospital. Mike, just goddamn G unit. He drives me to the hospital. One of my friends drives my car to the hospital. And then Mike stayed with me for like 8 hours in the hospital while my shit got reset and I got a bunch of x-rays and a bunch of BS and everything. And my fucking parent, my dad didn't even know what was going on. Whatever, but, Mike's chilling with me. And then drives my car like 40 minutes home and then takes an Uber back to his house, which is like 40 minutes away. Okay, so, but we're in the hospital. And I was starting my video business at the time. And he's like, okay, he's got his thing. He's like, you want to work for me? One of the conversations that we stumbled upon before that, to get to that, was that money was fucking fake. And that
Money ain't even real.
it was a concept that I had been thinking about. And it's kind of something that in my rage and anger of the whole situation, I kind of dropped. It was just like, I fucking just don't believe that this shit is even real. And like, that like some of these clients I work for so bullshit and get paid. And some I've worked so hard for like so little and all this shit. And then you've solidified my thought in saying that money is not real. So
Yeah.
can you go into that story? You told me a story when we were in the hospital of when you realized you had your daughter and you had your health insurance was running out and through the union, and you just decided to make a fucking change. And after you made that change, you decide like it was just a solidified money's not real. And really just instead of this whole anxiety value, save and invest type thing, it became a tool. You fucking drop it and you use it and you ask for it once you know how to get it. And so how did money become unreal to you?
Oh, man, I remember dude, it's literally just numbers in a computer. I mean, it's easy to think like when I say money's not real, it's like, yeah, paper, cash, like in your hand. But that ends up in a bank. Like I never have cash on me ever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Unless somebody pays me in cash, and then I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Like,
What'd you do when you
like you take money out of an ATM.
Your health insurance thing when you were done with your daughter? When what?
Well,
that
I gotta
next
be honest.
gig.
Like again, this is a lucky thing. My wife has health insurance, so
Mhm.
there was 3 years where we didn't have any insurance, and that was before kids.
Yeah.
And that was a big, definitely that was a big thing at the time. It was 2007. Like I said, I got married in 2009.
Okay.
2007 was when I last worked out at a union. It was like I was on a job. The job got finished. I got laid off,
Mhm.
and I just never went back down to the union hall and signed up for another job. And what happened was, I was like, well, my health insurance ran out in like 3 months. It was like 3 months, and then it was over, and then I didn't have it. And I was just like, well, fuck it. Like, it started to feel like having insurance and like thinking you're going to die if you don't have insurance is a way to keep you working,
Yeah.
you know? And I was just like, well, I'm just going to have to be careful.
Yeah.
You know, good thing I wasn't skating then,
Yeah.
you know? But I was just like, oh, I mean, I guess I can't get hurt, you know? And anytime I had to go to the doctor, dude, this is nothing. I would go to the doctor and I would tell them like I was uninsured and I was having to pay cash. And they were like, tell me how much it would be. I was like, that's like not that bad. Like I can afford that.
Yeah.
When you get an insurance bill and it's like you went to a dentist and you got a filling and it's an $8,000 insurance bill, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, but they just upcharge because of that, huh?
But then I don't know how it works.
Yeah, but
I don't know if they really get what's on
seems-
that thing. All I know is I went there and they're like, yeah, just like it'll be like $150 or something. I'm like, great.
For
You know?
whatever.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
so money ain't even real, right? A couple times, like, so I start getting to a point where I'm getting busy. Some phone calls come my way. People want price quotes now. We need a number today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people just need a fucking number.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to get a job or whatever. Like you're like, say I'm getting subbed by somebody. And they just were like, look, man, I need a number. I'm like, I'm on a job for the next 2 days. I can't do this till like Monday. They're like, look, you just spitball it, throw a number at us. Like, we just need to know. Like, I gotta tell them something.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them $15,000. All right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, done. That's all I need to know. And then like the next week comes, I get the phone call. They're like, hey man, we got the job. We're good. It's 15's a go. I'm like, oh, all right. And then I'll go into my system now and put the number in, and I'm like, dude, it's only like $7,200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm like,
It's like what happened. Yeah.
I'm like, he said 15. It's a go. So then I start coming up with, I start billing for everything. Like normally I
You're
would
talking like 15. This happened the other day when someone asked, you got that quote for $100,000 and they asked you if you could do it for 70.
Yeah.
You put it through, we ran the numbers and the quote came up for 55,000.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, how do we morally get to $70,000? Or
Yeah.
we can just fucking charge them and say, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think I actually did get the full 15 from the guy. I was like, hey, listen, dude, like,
Yeah.
I spitballed you a pretty big, ridiculous number. I'm like,
Yeah.
so how about this? Like, I'll get my number to like 12 or something and you make another 3, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy because if he waited for my quote, it would have been 75,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, but that's literally what I mean by like, it's not even real. Like, somebody just said like,
It was just a matter of waiting.
yeah, I'm willing to spend $15,000 on this. That's fine. That's great. That's fine. Just give me, you know, all right, let's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, you start getting then again, as you start making your way in the business, you start to see other people's numbers. It's inevitable, you know. Someone's like, can you beat this? And then you see it, and you're just like, what? Like, you see the way other people bill, and it's like, you realize there is no rhyme or reason to how you can bill someone or what kind of number, what is something worth to you.
Yeah.
I used to never bill for my cabling. I'm like, I'm not going to bill for the cable. Like, I'm not going to do, like, actually add up every single cable. Bigger companies kind of do that,
Yeah.
you know? But this is what I mean. And it's like, you just start to realize, like, people just asking for a number and there's nothing to even measure it by.
No, there's nothing.
You know?
And it's like when you're the expert, you're the expert. That's it. That's the bottom fucking line. And when someone needs a service and you're the expert and they don't know what to do and they're willing to pay, that is literally the fucking bottom line. Which is weird, like, even on, like, lower level stuff, when, like, in my stuff, you know, my rent's not that much money and, like, whatever compared to the bills that you pay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, so a couple $100 could, like, make my, you know, weekend a little bit better or, like, whatever, stuff like that. And where I realize, just fucking ask and your life gets better.
Yeah.
And you just fucking ask for the extra couple $100 and just like that, like, either they say no and you're right where you're at, or just like that, your weekend gets so much fucking better. And it's like, wow, I have $100 to throw in the E-Trade account, and then I have $100 to blow on a dinner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, great.
Yeah.
You know,
then,
for literally just asking a question.
Yeah, dude. I used to. I had a hot moment where I would get like this panic attack about sitting in traffic. Right. I know, but this is what I mean. Like, and I had these jobs in the Hamptons, like this thing with Bon Jovi that I was saying before, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I had 2 jobs at the same time, just pure luck. I had 2 jobs in the Hamptons, right? And I remember I was like, week was coming up and I was just like, I don't want to sit in the Belt Parkway traffic. Like, I really, really, really don't want to sit in the fucking traffic.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's really a 3-hour ride or a 3.5-hour ride with no traffic. And it becomes 6.5-hour ride with the ridiculous traffic.
Mm.
So I just was like, how much am I getting for this? I'll throw numbers. I don't care. It was like, I think it was a $17,000 weekend. It was like, all right, and then after I pay all the guys and everyone else, like there's probably, I'm still making over like 10K. It was probably like 12K after paying people and everything else.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I literally just go, if the client said to me, will you do this for $11,000? Would I have said, yeah, just took the $1,000 off? I did. Yeah, absolutely. I would have. Yeah, I'm not going to say no to the 11 because of $1,000.
Yeah.
So then I started again, like thinking about like,
Well, what if
I'll
I went
take
the
the
other way?
$1,000 and I'm going to see if I can get a fucking guy with a private plane to fly me out there, like a little plane, because that's how bad I don't want to drive. And again, it's like, why? Because like, I just rationalize it with like the $1,000 ain't shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm already making pretty good money on this, and I don't care to piss away
Yeah.
the grand. You know,
Uh-huh.
same way I ended up with vert ramp. You know what I mean? Like some jobs are a better payday than others. I mean, I did one last year where the guy called me week of to do a job at the Wells Fargo arena.
Mm-hmm.
This
There you
stuff happens, man. Like this is the thing too. You think in the world of money, there's organization. It's just as fucked up as everywhere
No,
else.
they just call your ass.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they think Wells Fargo, Prudential. Like, you've done Prudential, right?
Yeah, I've
You've
all
done
these
City
arenas.
Field.
I've done haven't not quite.
No,
I've
but
worked at
you've
City
done-
Field, but not on City Field.
Yeah, but you've done. Oh, okay. But what do you do? See, you've done so
I
many
did a little
big
private-
venues around here, and it's like, what? All those just come by phone call.
At City Field, I did a random job where
Email,
Keith,
someone knows your name, phone call,
Yeah,
someone's got your number.
Keith Hernandez and Jacob DeGrom.
Keith Hernandez.
Keith Hernandez,
Yeah,
remember that is
yeah,
like
yeah.
legendary.
Yeah.
He was there, and Jacob DeGrom was there, and they were signing things for like the Boy Scouts or something. And I just had this little PA thing there so we could talk, and
Yeah.
I was just sitting off to the side watching, and I was like, damn, I have some Mets fans in my family.
Yeah, right, little Keith.
Check out where I'm at, you know. But yeah, the Wells Fargo thing came like a week of, and it was literally like, I want this much money. Like, this is how much I want to put up with what it's going to take for me to do this on 4 days' notice. And they said, yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
All
you
right.
know. And it's not even real. Like, money's not even real. There's nobody to tell you, you can't do that. Whoa, you're overcharging for this. And then it's like, there's no even like, am I even overcharging? No.
There's
I'm
no one to fucking tell you can't do
Yeah.
it. So just name your price, grow a pair of balls,
Yeah.
quit your job, start your own shit, charge a price, move on with your fucking life.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be good at what you do. I mean, there are
You
certain.
don't even have to be. That's the retarded part. Is that like I know so many people that like are doing what I'm doing. Not that I'm anything special,
Mhm.
and doing other trades. Then they're not special. I know welders that do 6G pipe welds and
Yeah.
stuff. But I know guys that can't do that and
Yeah.
make money for sure. And like
The gig economy is
Man,
what I
it's-
think they call it, like the gig economy.
it's weird.
Dude, if we had universal health care, I don't think anybody would work for anybody else. Like, because like, think about it. What's the biggest fear? Your biggest fear in life is like, oh man, I gotta have insurance, dude. Like, then especially if you want to have a family. If you
Yeah.
don't have insurance, it feels like everybody in your house is gonna die from a toothache. You know what I mean? You gotta have insurance. You gotta have
That's
it. You
that
gotta have it. You
fear-mongering
gotta have it.
shit.
Yeah. It's like, man, if you just took that out of the equation,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You're free to kind of do whatever the hell you want, like, and
Right.
come and go as you please, and that's the thing, man. It's like I didn't hate being an electrician. I just hated the feeling of like you have to go in every day, every morning at this time till that time.
Mhm.
Even if like we would be doing a job where it's like, say we got done with what we were doing at 2:00 and the day's over at 3:30. Can I just leave? Like, the day's over. I'm done. I'm not. There's no point in me starting another thing now.
Yeah.
Or even pretending. And you'd have to pretend you were doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, that was the shit that I couldn't stand. Like at the very least, I mean, this is like more for like why production might be appealing. Like when the job's over, it's over and we go home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no times. I mean, there is. Like, got to be here and start and set up at this time. But like on the loadout, when it's done, it's done. You're done and you're out and you're over.
Yeah.
Also, this job is one day. And if this job sucks and I hate it and the crew that ended up being there is nightmarish and you don't want to put up with them,
Yeah.
you're not seeing any of these people ever again tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know?
Never have to
So-
hire again.
Freedom. I don't know, man.
It's worth the whole fucking lot.
I
It's
think
worth
so.
the whole- it's like it's worth your head. It's worth like the mental fucking worth. Honestly, if it's
Yeah.
not worth the dollar value, it's worth the mental value of just knowing you're doing your own shit.
Yeah.
And just like not fucking answering some jackass manager text or some bullshit little fucking group chat with some drama and like all that, whatever. It's
Yeah,
like,
working also that the people that own the company can really make the lion's share of the money.
yeah.
That's something I wish I could
I mean,
figure
we
out.
all know that, but like even through freelancing, I've found a different world. And like even working for people, working for people, you can still work for people, but work for yourself.
Exactly. Like you don't work for me. I'm technically one of your clients.
That's also
Do you know
true.
what I mean?
That's true.
And like, let's put it this way: if you're unhappy with something, or if I did something fucked up, you can tell me fuck off, and then just that's the end of that. You know what I mean?
I like working for you.
But then here's the thing, and I want you to want to like working for me.
Yeah.
So it's different than like I got you by the balls because fucking we pay this and he has health insurance and a 401k and you have to fucking do what I say, or you get fired and you're gonna fucking lose everything in your life because you'll never get.
And that's the whole point of this fucking conversation is that working for a person like this is you work yourself. Even as a young person, it's a little bit scary. You work yourself, and it was scary for you when you're young. But people that do it fucking pay it forward to the people that are doing it still.
Yeah.
And it just happens. It fucking works out. You put your balls forward, you put your work forward, and it just works. And, like, people like Mike will hire you and want you to stay rather than holding you by some anxiety measure.
Yeah, exactly.
And they want you to work because hard work actually is a hot commodity these days. I can't tell you how many times I've been recognized just for fucking staying an extra hour, wrapping an extra cable, fucking doing an extra little BS.
You go the extra
following
mile,
someone to the car with their shit just to make sure it gets in right, and leaving when everybody else leaves with the handshake and not just splitting when I want to split. And, shit like that, literally, you pave your own way. Just doing that. Being early, leaving late, and fucking...
Yeah, there's a big difference
being naked in the locker.
There's a big difference between, like, I just got to show up on time, keep my head down, keep my mouth shut, get through the day, or, like, I actually have to be worth something.
But, like, it's
But
weird.
I actually want to get paid what I'm worth, too. And, again, what are you worth? Everyone's got to figure that out when you're freelancing on your own, If you were working at the post office, they know exactly what you're fucking worth, whether you agree with it or not. You can't say shit about it.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people are told what they're worth instead of determining their own value, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I mean, there's not a lot of people that let you fuck around with their equipment, but also it's like, there's not a lot of people that are determining their own value.
Yeah. I didn't like the boogeyman aspect of like the ownership and the management when I was an electrician. Man, this is the kind of stuff that I just couldn't stand. Like, we would be working in a building, Lehman Brothers or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like there would be a widespread information drop on everyone. Guys, the executives are going to be here today. The higher ups are coming in today. The owner of our company is going to be here, and the owner's Lehman Brothers. Everybody's got to look. You guys all got to look like And it was like we all had to be afraid.
Yeah.
So like we're sitting in our little hole wire and stuff, and we had to be all like,
oh, my tool belt is on tight. Yeah. I
Working
wrenched
hard.
it down perfect.
yeah, working hard here, exactly. Working hard. Everyone's working. You're getting your money's worth,
Yeah.
right? And
We're all like fucking singing like songs.
yeah, exactly. And like fucking hi ho, just like
That's
that.
fucked up. I swear to God, that's what they want.
It is.
It's like they literally want to come in, and not to bring this to some weird racy place, but they want to come in and see you singing like some songs.
And
some songs and shit, like some work at like, railroad songs. Like, gee, it's fucking weird, man.
I mean, I don't know. Again, maybe this is something wrong with me, but like something as simple as this is, I couldn't stand. We all had yellow hard hats.
Yeah.
They had white ones.
Oh.
And
and it's like,
and there was a couple
management one day, like,
and there was even a couple of blue hard hats.
Oh.
And it was
They
like
really
we
had
didn't even know who
huge
they were.
jobs.
They were like the mystery men.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, man. It's one of them things where like, why is this guy better than me? Like, why do these guys make so much money? And like this building, fucking high rise that's being built here, we are the ones building this.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we just made this much, and they got rich. Like they get rich at the end of it somehow. And they have shit. So
rich.
That's again. I don't mind working for a living.
Yeah.
But like, I want to reap the reward.
Yeah.
I want to reap my own rewards. You know what I mean? Or at least be in control of my own destiny.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll never be rich like Lehman Brothers, even though they went bankrupt. But maybe I'll never be rich like those dudes.
That's the fallacy of it all. Is this motherfucker going bankrupt?
But I'm certainly happy about this because I paved my own way.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like.
That's the whole thing.
I didn't try to like.
You're not a poser, Mike.
Backstab my way.
You're not a fucking poser.
Dude, that's for sure.
Look,
I didn't backstab my way up the ladder and kiss the right ass, because that stuff definitely did happen in the union. There's politics, business agents' family, they're all supervisors and shit. And it's like, dude, if I'm going to work hard, I want to be the one who reaps the reward.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
And even if the reward is not the same reward to you, it's my reward, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll end it.
Cool. Thanks. That was a good way to end the poser.
Thanks. Hell yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, no worries.
That's
It's like
fun.
therapy, man. Talking about this shit that's all in my head still in like the corners. The $40,000.
But doesn't
I
it
haven't
fe-
thought about that in a while.